Hey friends, Heidi Plande here. Let's see, where am I? Okay. Okay, so Pal says yes. So the thing that's happening this time that didn't happen last time is I don't see where I'm at. Oh, there we go. Okay. I see my crew here. Do you guys see my screen holiday happy hour hidden Goldmine training? Yes, you do. Okay, awesome. So we are going to jump right in and just start introducing people and seeing who's here. So I am Heidi. I'm here in Oregon. It is 4 p.m. We are having a holiday happy hour. I've got my favorite beverage, which happens to be hot water with lemon and honey today. And if you've got a favorite beverage, grab your beverage, sit down and relax because you, my friend, are in the right place at the right time. If you're ready for real estate to get easier, clearer, and more prosperous in 2026, you, my friend, are in for a treat because there is an opportunity for you to step into ease and flow, to let go of forcing and come into a whole new way of being. When you know where the gold mine is hiding, you don't have to go looking for it anymore. I mean, it gets clear and you can find what you're looking for and without all the struggle, right? So that's what this session is all about. I've got Christian David here from Property Radar, and you're coming from California. Is that correct, Christian?
Correct. Yeah, Heidi. Hey, everyone. Christian David here. I am based out in San Diego. We're headquartered over in Truckee, but we're all remote, so we're all over the place.
Awesome. And then I have Pal, my assistant, joining us, helping me with the technical parts and getting resources to people. So thank you so much, Pal, for being here. I so appreciate you. And yeah, so let's just go ahead and jump in to this lovely training that I'm so excited to share with you because, real estate for me is a joy when I started learning how to really use the tools. We started in real estate kind of early 2000s, during the crash, and we knew Property Radar as foreclosure radar. And we were trying to follow the process of a property coming into foreclosure, and then when was it actually going to be at the auction, and how much did we need to bring, and it would get postponed and somebody would file bankruptcy. Anyway, having the right tools has been the game changer. That's why I'm starting with that. So yeah, thank you for being here and allowing me to share this real estate there. Now I'm all nervous. When you know how to use the tools, you can start creating wealth in your life with the tools that you have. And we're going to take a whole step back here because um, there is an aligning with it. And I've totally lost my notes. I'm just going to throw the notes out the window. Okay. When we are looking at opportunities and looking at our tools, there is an opportunity to stop struggling and come into alignment and flow. And that really is my gifting. That is the reason I am so excited to share it and pair it with real estate because I have struggled in real estate. I have struggled really hard. I have lost a shit ton of money in real estate. I have done so many deals for free. It is ridiculous. And there is absolutely no need to do that anymore. Right. So I'm inviting you into a whole new way of being that is more graceful, that is more prosperous, that is more flowing. And when you know where to look, you find it. So right now, I could show you all the tools. Oh, somebody's entering. Yay, come on in. Here we go. Oh, ah, There we go. Come on in, David. So I think I clicked the right button. Okay. Anyway, um, we are coming in. DZ. Okay, welcome. If you just want to introduce yourself, where you're coming from, you're more than welcome. We're just early in the game here to be starting. You can put it in the chat or you can unmute. Here, I'll unmute you. No, I don't. Actually, I don't. And I'm learning how to use this new tool to prove. Okay. All right. Okay. I might have just scared this person. Okay. I don't. Sorry, guys. Sorry, not scar. Sorry. Okay, let's jump into flow, and I'm going to do much better after that. So I invite you to take 3 deep breaths with me, okay? In through your nose and out through your mouth. And let's just settle into the present moment, knowing that we have arrived on time to open to this information and allow us to see things differently. Take another deep breath in and let it out. Ha. And know that you are here on purpose and there are amazing tools for you to use so you can quit the struggle. Okay. So when I started this little seminar, we're going to do absentee owners. And maybe David or Christian, if you want to just jump in with absentee owners, and because now I'm all completely flustered a little bit after the centering that it didn't center me very much. I'm going to do more deep breathing. Talk about absentee owners. Why are they the absolute gold mine? And why would we want to target these people as a, motivated seller? Not
Yeah,
target them, but yeah, target them.
definitely, Heidi. Thank you for the intro. There's a lot of reasons why people look for absentee owners. I think traditionally people will typically view, especially as an agent, an absentee owner list as a more passive, more of a farming list. But some ways that Prop Radar actually helps you flip that script, because in our playbook, which I'm sure you guys can get from Heidi, it actually talks about how we can make that more of like a hunting mindset. And some ways that we typically would walk through with someone on an absentee owners that I personally would is, let's look for someone who's owned properties for a while. Maybe they're out of the county. Maybe they're a little bit older, looking to offload a property. But the reason why that becomes more of like a hunting mindset is because typically with absentee owners, it's one of the more faster ways to find motivated sellers just before they even consider about listing, because oftentimes they're typically landlords that get tired. They got to deal with tenants, repairs, the rising cost of all of the above, and sometimes they're just ready to cash out. So that's typically the perfect prospect seller list.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm just going to pitch my own personal example. I am an absentee owner right now. I moved from Southern Oregon to Northern Oregon. It's a 4.5 hour drive. I have a vacant I have a vacant house down there. I don't want to drive 4.5 hours. And so I have asked a couple investors, hey, are you interested in even just taking over this loan? Take over the whole thing because it's not worth my energy all that much. Well, it's not worth my energy. There's more prosperous things for me to be doing than running down there and navigating, and yes, I could have a property manager do it for me. But that being said, there's cash flow involved. The numbers need to make sense. And some absentee owners are, totally well ready to say, yeah, I'm done with it. Yeah, take it over. Have it. I'm over it. So if if you are interested in making this absentee owners list that Christian is going to show us how to do, you can get a 5 day free trial of Property Radar. And so this is the one of the gifts that we have presented and offered to you is the 5 day property radar trial. Look at your area, see how many opportunities are waiting for you, see how many people need your help, and start allowing those resources to come to you. Allow those listings to come to you. And it comes with also a property radar playbook. So there's one for investors, there's one for realtors, and the playbook will show you what filters you need to put into the database so that you get the results you need. So they walk you through it step by step. It is not hard. And that's why I'm pairing this grace and ease with Property Radar and having the right tools, because it is not hard. And then thirdly, the real estate clarity lens is a little ebook I put together that shows you how, when you align with your energy and say you can do something, it's way different than saying, oh God, I hope I can. I think I'm probably not going to get to do a very good job and blah, blah, blah. The shitty story that we talk about ourselves. We don't need to tell that story anymore, friends. So anyway, these are your gifts. If you are interested, you can have them. We can stick the link in the chat if you're interested, or message me later, okay? And we can get you set up. So Christian, do you want to jump into kind of what does that list look like? How do you put the filters in? How
Yeah.
do you create listings and deals from a database?
Yeah, definitely. I'm more than happy to take over. I'll share my screen. Just kind of reiterating, what you said earlier, and even to what I said to some degree, absentee owners are effective, and why this play works is because with folks having to deal with, you said earlier, the rising costs, tax issues, tenant problems without being nearby to manage them, the stressors make them prime prospects. And so at the end of the day, especially when that property isn't cash flowing, with timely outreach and a smart position, you could become, the easy button for getting out. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to walk you guys through how I would build it out in just a matter of minutes. I think people, when they come to the platform, who are a little bit newer, they might get overwhelmed because there's so many different filters. But I want us all to just put our blinders on because we've actually done the majority of the work already for you when it comes to building out these lists. So I get it. People on this call might not have a subscription, so they might not know how it works, but it's as simple as literally putting in the state that you're based out in, put in the city, put in the zip code, the county. Again, I know with agents, we typically want to stay a little more hyper local, but let's just start off with San Diego. And again, if the data becomes way too much, you can always just drill down to a specific area that makes most sense to you or an area that you traditionally farm. So if you take a look here, top right corner of my screen, just in my city alone, we're just almost at 400,000 properties. So quite a bit. San Diego is a pretty large market. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, we've already done all the work for you guys. Simply just go to the quick list section here, and we have all the primary industries that we work with. Now, Heidi promised you guys a copy of that playbook, which you guys become trialers or users. So again, that playbook is going to mirror actually a majority of the plays that we already have in the playbook, or sorry, in the quick list section right here. So take a look. We have investors, we have realtors. Let's focus on the realtor section for now, but just to kind of show you guys an idea, we have so many different use cases from absentee owners to foreclosures to stressors, motivated sellers. So a wide variety of options for you guys. But again, we want to keep it on track today. So let's focus on absentee owners. Now, there are a few different ways we can drill down by absentee owners. We have out of state, we have out of county, or just a traditional sense, anyone who doesn't live in that current property is an absentee owner. Now, I typically will recommend for agents to work with, at the very minimum, out of county. Typically, will uh, foster the best opportunity. With some of these folks that are in the same city or zip code, they're likely not going to want that additional help. But if they're really living out of the way, then they might be a really good opportunity. But let's go ahead and make some adjustments because, by default, we picked condo and we really just want to focus on single family today. And let's just keep it very basic, just do single family resident. But just for anyone watching, a lot of different ways we can drill down by, even within single family, from PUD to manufacturer to mobile. We have different types of condo, as well as residential multifamily and commercial multifamily. So again, a lot of different options here, guys. Now, let's go ahead and update, and this should drop down the list by a couple thousand. Now, if you haven't already noticed, there are some signals that we have up here, and these are just pretty much indicators on the number of properties that we have. So I'm just going to underline this. So we're at 6,400 properties. Of that total amount, we have about 72 people currently underwater, solo equity. We got some folks that recently deceased, unfortunately, and we got a couple people in lien. So again, it gives you an idea of how many people either fit a specific status or they might just be underwater. So again, they're there for your benefit. Use it at your own discretion. Now, from here, these quick lists are great, but it's not the end all be all. It's just a framework. At the end of the day, we should be adding in our own filters that make most sense for my niche or my use case. Now, typically, this type of list is going to be a more passive list, but some ways we can make it a little more hunting, as I mentioned earlier, is let's look for some folks that maybe own a couple of different properties. So I'm actually going to search for a specific filter. I'm looking for a number of properties. Maybe someone who has at least three or more, maybe even two, if you want to work with something a little bit smaller. But let's just try what that number three gives us. So they own at least three properties. I've left that max open-ended. I bet you anything, it's still going to be a lot. Look at that. 2,100 people just in my city who are absentee owners have at least three properties, but I want to make some of my own adjustments. I want to make sure that they've owned the property for at least 10 years. So what we'll do is we're going to change the purchase date. And there's a number of ways you can drill down by on date. You can add a specific date range, a before date, an after date, It's just really up to you and your best discretion. So I'm gonna, if anything, we're gonna do anything before, let's just say the last 10 years. So we'll keep it to December and we're just gonna jump back to 2015. And why not the same exact date? We're gonna put that in there and let's see what that gives us. I bet you anything, it's still gonna be a big number. Look at that. 1,600 properties. Let's make it a little bit more motivated. Not to say that, 75 is an old number, but let's just say that we want to work with someone that's at that age range. Because oftentimes it's a headache. If I were 75, I wouldn't want to deal with, three properties. If I don't have a property manager, that's even worse. A lot of the time, these guys are driving themselves, so I would want to stay away from that. So let's go ahead and add in owner age. And again, quite a bit of filters with the words age. So I know exactly where it is. We're going to go to owner details. We're going to go to demographics. And by the way, just so that you guys can track this too, we can get really granular on the homeowner. We can tell you their household income, if they have any kids for my downsizers list. We could tell you the age of the kids for my empty nesters. But again, let's just focus on today's conversation, absentee owners, and let's say 75. Let's take a look what that gives us. Let's update that. We'll leave that max open-ended. This is a beautiful size list right here. Almost 400 properties. I would say this is an ideal size for your first campaign. Anywhere between 500 to 600 folks. Well, I'm a little bit under that, but again, you can adjust and you can make it a bigger pool, or you can minimize a filter and adjust from there. But once you're ready to go, let's go ahead and hit make list and give it a name. We'll do absentee owner. Now, before I submit this list, I do want to give some important call outs because I think a lot of people overlook this. We can monitor this. And the reason why this is so, so important is if you want to stay on top of the game, people change properties, people sell them, people go into foreclosure, people take new loans out. If there are any changes at all on the property or the homeowner, we're going to notify you. And some ways to notify you is by adding monitoring and adding alerts because we can either let you know in real time or in a report at the end of the day. So definitely have these boxes checked off. It's the most important way to stay on top of your list. But on the other end of the coin here is not only are we tracking for changes, but new matches. Because at the end of the day, we're going to run out of opportunities. So how can we get more funneled to us? Add in monitoring because now this list is going to grow from 385 to however many people come in as new transactions occur. So just the biggest call out is add in monitoring and add in alerts. If you want to make this as streamlined as possible, this is the best way to stay on top of all of your opportunities. So let's go ahead and create this list here. Heidi, I didn't mean to take over here, but did you want me to continue? Because I have more stuff I could talk all day about absentee owners, but I don't want to overstep here on the amount of
No.
talking time.
Yeah, I
Yeah?
think you're doing awesome. Yeah, keep going.
Beautiful. Okay. So I know you mentioned earlier, Heidi, that we're known for being, the data providers. The last 18 years, I agree with you. That's been the mindset. The last 12 months, we've really tried to shift that gear because at the end of the day, everyone has data. It's
Mm-hmm.
powerful, it's great, but I don't think it's the best part of a property builder now to this day. Because what separates us from some of the other alternatives out there is how can you build a list in a matter of minutes? And how can you effectively multi-channel market? Because you can have all the data in the world, but if you don't know how to reach out to the people with the data, right, all these prospects, all these potential sellers, it's wasted information. So, some ways to track all of this is take a look at that data, put it into a workflow view, right? This becomes your pipeline tracker. And to take a look at some of these steps here, I got my online ads, I got my direct mail, my email marketing. This is my cadence right here. In fact, when you work with us, we actually have folks on the success team and the marketing side who will help you make some recommendations. In fact, I recommend that if you are going to be utilizing multi-channel marketing, adhere to a similar campaign timeline. As I mentioned earlier, online ads. This should be the first thing you guys need to do. It's a great way to warm up your leads, especially with the do not call list. We don't want you guys to get in trouble. Maybe you can't find a phone number. Maybe you have a low pickup rate, right? Though here is another great alternative to help warm these folks up. Because at the end of the day, it's all about building brand recognition. We want to make sure that people understand what you do and convey that messaging clearly. So now that we've been running your online ads for about 7 to 14 days, then that's why I'd say start your first postcard. By week 3, that's when you even begin to even think about doing email marketing and your first phone call. So by the time you get to your next phone call, you've had anywhere between at least 6 to 8 touch points. And that's not a cold call anymore. It's a warm conversation. You've been building that brand recognition, that brand equity over the last month. Now you're going to have a better pickup rate because, again, it's all about those impressions. So I'm going to go ahead and de-share and reshare my other screen here because, again, I think it's really important for everyone to know how to effectively market, but the timeline behind it. Now, once you have your pipeline and you have your opportunities, you can move it through its respective step or funnel it into whichever bucket that it belongs to. Now, actually implementing your marketing is another thing entirely. Um, I'm a sales guy through and through. I know I do these webinars for our like trainings, but at the end of the day, I've always been in sales. It's what I've been doing for the last 6 years, and I'm not a marketing guy at all. When I first came to Property Radar, I knew nothing about cold outreach in terms of like how agents and then lenders utilize the platform. So some ways that we can help you guys out is using the automation feature. In fact, we've already helped you with monitoring this list, but how to take it a step further is let's automate all of this. So now when you've enabled your marketing automation for all the new triggers, so all the new matches that come in, PropRadar can now execute a direct mail send and an email send on your behalf without you having to do anything. So now we're starting the first two touch points in your marketing cadence. And why this is important is because if you want to set up an effective multi-channel marketing campaign, how can we have less steps for you to worry about? How can we streamline this? Now, setting this up is really up to you. Not everyone is going to be a marketing pro like myself. Uh, if you want to go in there and you want to create your own templates, sure. Add in your own stock photos, add in your own designs. Great. Similar to Canva, but not everyone has 6 hours out of the day. I know I don't. So some other alternatives, if you don't want to spend 6 hours out every day, take a look at our templates. We have so many that we've built out for all the different industries. Take a look here. We got our investors, our residential agents, our mortgage pros, our commercial agents, and home service. Now, if we take a look here, these are all free templates made for you guys. And you can adjust and customize any of these templates. Again, if you came to me, you came to Heidi, you said, look, I'm really struggling with this. I'm not a marketing person. We got people for that. We have a whole marketing division that will help you either polish the templates that we have, either customize one from the ground up, or if you need any help, any suggestions, we're more than happy to make those recommendations. But something that we recently pushed for is bundles, and these are also free to use. Because remember how I mentioned earlier, we want to keep that messaging similar, and the best way to do that is to utilize our bundles. Now, what our bundles are essentially templates for folks who want to do email marketing, direct mail, and online ads. All three of those marketing channels are going to have similar messaging, actually the same messaging. Because again, it would be wastage of your money, wastage of your resources to put all that money into marketing just to find out that the prospect doesn't understand what you guys do, what do you have to offer. So it's important we want to keep that messaging the same. And if again there's a bundle in there that we don't have, we'll work with you on creating a similar one that you're looking for. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that's just one half of the cookie here. The other half is the email marketing feature. So this is one of our newer features that we dropped earlier this year. And why I like this is because even if you didn't have a bundle, or maybe you struggle with messaging, use the AI feature. Let it know who you are, what you do, what kind of message you're trying to build out. And then from there, it's going to make its recommendations and it learns as it goes. So be patient with it. Another alternative is we have some of our own templates that we've already made for our residential agents. As well, again, some of those are going to mirror what you see in the bundle. Now, whatever option or design that you end up picking for the templates, whether you upload your own, we can customize how you want to execute these sends. In fact, if you want to choose which owner you want to send it to, you could fire it off to the primary, secondary, both. You can go as far as to schedule these emails out. And of course, we want you guys to stay CAN spam compliant. So we often recommend opt in for signature, opt in for an opt out option, and then of course, deliverability. We can track when people open those emails and the links within them. So if you're wondering what email you should be using, I definitely would recommend to at least stay away from Gmail. And if you have to use a Gmail, try to use a business account. Try to use a domain that you own. Because at the end of the day, you're going to run into issues with your email sends. If you're blasting off 300 emails all in one go. Again, not the best uh, way to go about doing your emails. The good sweet spot is anywhere between 25 to 50 emails a day. You might notice some higher bounce rates if you go above that variable. But if you are curious, we can track that. If you go to your account settings here, we can actually do two things. We can track your direct mail stats, so how many of them are in transit, delivered, or forwarded. And I can't tell you when someone opens their mailbox, but we do use first class priority, so it'll get there quicker with less people touching it. And then go a little bit lower here, and we got our email stats as well. And we'll be able to tell you what your open rate is. And again, if you struggle with email hygiene and understanding how that works, take a look at this link down here when you guys sign up. Now, I've only talked about two of the five marketing channels. We went over the automation process for direct mail and email marketing. Some of the other features we have are a little bit more manual, but we have options. When you want to go to the connect feature, think of that as like interacting with your list. You're saying, hey, I can make phone calls, I can send text messages, do direct mail, email marketing, I can pull my list, I can run online ads. Now, let's go ahead and walk you through how I would actually make a phone call. So we do use a third-party platform called Wave, but it's fully integrated into the system. You don't need to export any data. You don't need to worry about building out any kind of integration, getting API access. All the data stays in proper radar. So what you can do from there is you can make some phone calls. And if you do end up using the Wave app itself, you can dial in through your computer. You could use your headphones, your AirPods. If you're a little more traditional, you can dial in through your phone. If you do end up dialing through your phone, you could continue to keep using your own phone number. I know a lot of agents like to stick with the same phone number, right? If you're more call focused, we will be able to use an auto-generated number, but you will have to pick an area code in the same area code. So try to pick an area that you're serving that people are familiar with. You'll typically have lower pickup rates if you use an area code that someone is not familiar with. And of course, you can dial it in through the Wave app itself. Again, it's going to be most optimized for desktop or laptop version. Now, we can also execute text messages as well. We can do up to batches of 100%, or however many your plan allows. You can add in some personalization like emojis to make it sound a little more, down to earth. We can include some attachments. We have merger fields, which essentially is just the basic information like your name, your address. And of course, you can add in templates. I work with a lot of lenders, and with rates dropping right now, they're really big on FHA Streamline. So you can add in some templates. That playbook that Heidi is going to send to you guys has a copy of some recommended outreach for each type of use case. So there is some stuff on messaging for absentee owners. And again, you could specifically mention or pick and choose when you want to schedule those text messages or batches. Now, last thing I want to cover, bear with me here, guys. I know I've been on a long monologue here. We have online ads, and I saved it at the end because it's the best and it's the newest feature that we just dropped. Where this differs from your traditional sense of online ads is we're not putting in a big net and we're casting it to the ocean, hoping we get some prospects. This is targeted ads. We use programmatic ads to specifically target the homeowners on your property list. So even though this is an absentee owner list, we're not targeting the renters. We're not targeting a vacant home. We're only targeting the people that actually own the property. And if there's multiple, we'll target the secondary owner. Now, where this differs from your traditional sense is we're not going on social media. We're going on the World Wide Web. Now, where it goes is just dependent upon our team and our marketing manager, but we market to all over the place, all of the 2,000 biggest websites. Some examples are some publisher websites like CNN, MSNBC. Again, one of the many examples that we have. Now, if you're new to this, maybe you've never done marketing, specifically through online ads, or maybe you struggled with this in the past, we'll work with you. All you need is just a website. Give us a landing page if you don't have one. Something that you can pull that you want your prospects to see who you are and what you do. You don't even need to upload anything. Just describe to us what your vision is for the ad banners. How do you want the ad copy to look? The CTA, and of course, take the time, fill that brand center. Because at the end of the day, we need you to build that brand equity. And if people understand what you do, then it's all for nothing. Now, I want to show you guys an example of what an ad campaign might look like for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and generate this report. So after it runs in about 10 days, you're going to get this report and you're going to find out what your total amount of impressions were. If you find out that after that consultation you had with us, which is free by the way, and you realize that, hey, my impression goal didn't match up, we'll work with you. We want to help deliver results. And if that's the case where you're underperforming, we'll extend that campaign. We want to make sure that you guys are happy and you're putting your money where our mouth is. Now, if you're again curious where are some popular places these ads can be seen, these are one of the many examples. And again, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to optimize those banners to fit any type of web device, desktop, laptop, mobile phone. And again, if we need to expand it, condense it, we'll make sure we give different versions so that people can see the same messaging wherever they are on that website. So great tool to use. Again, I definitely recommend if you want to stay top of the game, all the top performers on PropBid are using multi-channel marketing. I can't tell you how many times, Heidi, I've had demos, one-on-one sessions with agents where they're saying, yeah, I've been doing cold calling for the last 20 years. I'm not getting anything. I'm relying on my referrals. There's a reason why you reached out to me and why you're not getting anything. It's because you're not being proactive. And a lot of times these folks are silencing themselves. They're only focusing on one form of marketing. You have to spread it out. It's the only way. The reason why you're having low pickup rates is because you're only doing cold calling. No one's going to pick up the phone if they've never heard of you before or you're not showing any kind of value to them. So again, I've only covered about maybe 50% of what we could really do in a session. So I'll let Heidi take back over. I appreciate everyone for listening on what this looks like. But the point that I'm trying to bring home today is we can build your list in a matter of minutes and get you that multi-channel marketing sequence done. And if you need more help, well, there's a whole wide variety of resources from Property Radar.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Christian. And I just want to reiterate what he's talking about, which is, there are resources right here for us. And we can say, oh God, that's going to be way too hard. It's going to cost too much money. And we can keep spinning ourselves in circles, or we can just sit back and just start to open to the possibilities that are available. And I want you to trust yourself, my friend. Trust your intuition and take that next step and believe in yourself. You deserve to win. You deserve those listings. You deserve that next deal. It's not and it's right there. This is the thing. It is sitting there waiting for you to open and allow it, to see it. And Christian has just presented some amazing ways to open to that and allow those new clients to come to you and that cash flow. So I'm going to share my screen and just wrap it up here with the idea that you are so capable. Let's try it. There we go. Yeah, you are so capable. Um, the opportunities that are waiting for you, they didn't just appear when you see them. They have been there all along. So there's a shift of coming into it, of realizing it. And I just want to encourage you guys. There's clarity for you. There's there's help along the way. And yeah, take action. If you want 2026 to be a game changer, step into these tools and allow yourself to start, you know, allowing real estate to be that avenue to create wealth for you, because it can in such a very, very real way. Let's just ask up questions. Does anybody have any questions? Let's just kind of wrap it up with um, the I knew that we had this prepared. This is my very first webinar with real people, and I'm so excited for the opportunity. Thanks, guys, for bearing with me as this to practice being myself, to practice being real, and yeah, being not perfect the first time, and that's okay. Pal, any questions with you that we're forgetting to? If you're ready for the Property Radar 5-day trial, you can jump into my Stan store or message me. I'd be happy to hand it. Could you stick the Stan store link in the chat, pal? If there's an option there. And I'm not positive if this would actually go to our Facebook friends and YouTube if you're able to see our links. but I will stick it in. I'll stick a link in. Otherwise, jump over to my stand store, grab the 5-day trial, and allow your 2026 to be completely different because you sat your asteroid down and began receiving and allowing all the goodness that wants to come to you. So I feel good about kind of ending it there, unless Christian or Pau, you think I should wrap it up with other questions or bringing clarity. I'm not a good rapper. We practice our rapping.
Yeah, you're good, Heidi. I do similar webinars twice a week with three different types of industry, two types of industries, and I could still honestly improve how I wrap it up too. I think the best thing to give people is just like resources and where to get those resources. I'm more than happy to assist you if you need anything from the success side or marketing. Um, you can always reach out. You can call the main number from Property Radar or go on our website. We have all the resources posted, and I'd be more than happy to forward that to you, Heidi, if you need to send it to anyone. But the point that I want to drive home is we have people on the support side that can help you well, not 24/7, 12 hours a day, 5 times a week for technical questions. We have people over in sales like myself who will kind of demo you, walk you through the product. And then we have people also on the success side that do weekly trainings. And then again, if you're interested in marketing, we have a whole nother department that will work with you on putting out those orders, whether that's direct mail, whether that's online ads, or if you have any other questions on any other marketing features that we do offer. Again, I'm always here to help. So uh, again, what I'm trying to prove or bring home is there's resources for everybody. So just let me know, okay?
Awesome. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So thank you so much, Christian, for presenting. Thank you, Pal, for helping me with the technical stuff. And yeah, we'll see you guys later. Awesome. Bye-bye.